everyone, welcome back to Daily Hope for the Single Mom. I'm so glad you decided to tune in again today. And my name's Lori Little and I'm the author of the 21 Principles of a Healthy Single Mom. If you saw the message yesterday, you heard that this program was made to just encourage you. It's going to be fun and whimsical and we're going to do all kinds of things, but I always just want to encourage you that everything's going to be okay, your children are going to be okay, and I just need to share stories of what's happened in my life when I let God be my husband and when I let Him be the father to my son, Eric. It has been nothing but miracles and miracles and miracles and miracles along the way. And I'm just a really proud mama today. Something really cool happened for Eric, so that's why I'm going to start the second segment off with, your kids are going to be okay. They're going to be okay, and you're going to be okay. So if you were like me when I became a single mom, the first thought that went through my mind is my child going to be okay? I mean, I was an adult. I knew I could probably get through this, but what about my child? He's not going to have a man in his life anymore, and how am I going to provide? And just all the thoughts that you're probably very familiar with going through my mind too. And I just remember the Lord saying one day, Lori, all you need to do is give Eric to me every single morning. Put him in my hands, and I'll take care of him. So that's what I did. Every single morning. God, I give Eric to you. And one of my main concerns is that Eric didn't have a man in his life. Well, giving Eric to God every single morning, my son had probably 5 male teachers in public school. One with whom he's still in contact with, his 5th grade teacher. God brought great men into Eric's life at the right time. I tried to manipulate it at different times and it never worked out. But at the right time, God would bring the right men at the right place at the right time for what he needed at that moment. So Eric grew up with having great men around him, great men that encouraged him and really poured into him and us and us as a family that we got to spend other times with as a family too. So like I said, he always had great men that God put in his life to surround him. Even in high school, his coaches in public high school were Christians. He was always surrounded with great, great, great men. Even the college that he got accepted into, if you read the message, watched the message yesterday, you know that Eric got a full academic and golf scholarship. Well, he got it to a private Christian college, and all of his coaches are good Christian men. I'm just amazed, you know, at what God has done and how He said of these 21 principles, if you follow these principles, Lori, everything's going to be okay. But what I'm really proud to tell you about now is God's just done something just so incredible that's just going to launch Eric off into a brilliant, amazing career as he's getting ready to graduate college in May. So last summer, Eric came out here to spend the summer with me and my family here and worked here over the summer. But when I went to pick him up at the airport in May, I had to wait for a little bit, and there was a woman sitting close to me at another table, but you know what, I could just tell she was a Christian. I could just tell she was from the South since I had just moved here from Atlanta. So we struck up a conversation, we started talking, and it turns out that she went to a great church in the area that we just moved into. So she invited me to church, we got a great connection, and she was there waiting to pick up her best friend from the airport. So Eric's plane lands. Eric literally walks off the plane walking with her best friend, unbeknownst to all of us. They both come through the doors, and here we are waiting for them, and it was like the 4 of us automatically knew each other. Well, this was just a total setup from God, because the woman's husband that Eric got off the plane with was the whole manager for Northwestern Mutual Insurance Atlanta office, and his office is labeled the best office, most successful, most productive office in the entire country. The man's a fabulous Christian man. All the top people that work in the Atlanta office, fabulous Christian men, very successful, well connected everywhere. Well, Eric got in touch through another God connection. Eric and this woman's husband got together. Actually, in church, God just said, Eric needs to meet that man, and it was her husband. So I called her and I said, hey, I just feel like I heard from the Lord that Eric and your husband need to connect. What do you think? Will you pray about it? Well, she called me back the next day. She said, absolutely. So she arranged a meeting with her husband and Eric, and he just absolutely fell in love with Eric. You could just tell the favor of God was all over that meeting. The next day he picked up the phone, called the Atlanta office at Northwestern Mutual Insurance and said, you have to meet this kid, because Eric's still in college in Georgia. You have to meet this kid. He's the kind of kid that needs to be running the whole company. Puts down the phone, done. Eric leaves back in August. He's got an automatic meeting with the top people in the top office of Northwestern Mutual Insurance. And just over the process of the year of having to do some of the things he had to do, we just got word today that he's hired on full-time. He's in the best office. He's with the absolute best people. And I remember a verse from the Bible that says, you know what? Do you excel in your work? You're going to stand before kings. But I'm just here to tell you, I let God be my husband. I let God be the father to Eric. Every day, I gave Eric to God's hands. And look what he's done. Look what he's done. There's not a person that you can't meet that just doesn't say, Eric is the best kid I have ever met in my whole entire life. You've done a great job, Lori. I say, God's done a great job because I gave him to him every single day. So all that to say, your kids are going to be okay. Eric's on his way off to a brilliant career. I can't even imagine what God's going to do through that. He's still going to be doing this also and working with me. So all that to say is, starting out the new year, you might want to consider reading the 21 Principles of a Healthy Single Mom for yourself. You might want to consider getting Eric's book for your kids and having them read it. Go through it as a family. And just every day, claim God as your husband. Isaiah 54:5 says, the Lord your maker is your husband. Every day, give your child to God and just say, you know what, God, I put him in your hands and I trust you with him. And go through those 21 principles, get them into you, get them into your children. That's exactly what I did, and everything's going to be more than okay. We were great. Great, great, great. We had a great life, and we still do. So God bless you. Please tune in tomorrow for another message of encouragement and hope, and I look forward to seeing you then.